Biden's border crisis, the out-of-control border crisis, continues to put every single American in harm's way. An estimated 10 million illegal aliens have poured in under the Biden regime, all of them unvetted, and God only knows how many gotaways. So the Democrats are claiming that illegal crossings are down, but Republicans argue that the border crisis has not abated. They argue instead that the administration is simply playing a shell game using unlawful mass parole programs to send illegals to ports of entry and then letting them into the country with little or no vetting. What do you think about this? Let's bring in our expert panel to discuss the alarming news. Former acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolff. Also with us, Border Commerce and Security Council Chairman Nelson Balido. Chad, let's start off with you. Talk to me about this mass parole program that is happening. We also heard an interesting report that under the Biden administration, they've been flying around at least 500,000 illegals to states all across the nation. And of course, the governors, they haven't even been notified about it.
Well, that's right. We've got two things at play that the Biden administration is doing to try to really hide the amount of illegal immigration that is coming in. So one is paroling individuals from 4 different countries into the United States, and as you indicated, flying them directly from those countries, essentially over the southwest border in the air, and then landing them at 40 different airports here in the United States. Most of those are inadmissible, but they are providing parole. They're also allowing individuals to come through at ports of entry through the CBP One app. Hundreds of thousands of folks that are inadmissible but show up at a port of entry. Those two items do not show up in their Border Patrol apprehension numbers that they claim are down. Well, of course they're down because you're simply moving migrants into the country with a different mechanism and you're counting them differently. So the crisis hasn't really abated much. It's just the Biden administration has gotten better at moving the numbers around and putting people into different programs that don't show up on those Border Patrol apprehension numbers.
You know, Nelson, the Biden administration, it continues to play this blame game. Of course, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, she's gotten so, well, I don't know who wrote this. She's not good at dodging any questions. She just lies and lies and makes a fool out of herself. Let's take a look at it.
The president has the authority to do something about this unilaterally. Congress is in a divided government right now. Why isn't he doing anything?
Well, why should he have to do it unilaterally? Why should we do it in a legislative way? And let's not forget that negotiated.
I know, but undo some of.
Wait, so you're right. He took many executive actions before, but in order to deal with what's happening at the border, in order to deal with a broken immigration system, you need law.
You know, Nelson, they want to say it's a broken immigration system, yet under President Trump, we didn't seem to have a broken border, right? He had it under control, but it was Joe Biden, Mayorkas bragging about it on national TV. They undid almost 100 Trump border era policies. So how stupid does this administration think Americans are?
Well, I think they think we're all stupid, actually. And the thing is that just like Chad says, they love shuffling the numbers. They love dodging the questions, and they try to make things up like we need legislative action to do anything, knowing that with simple executive action, this thing could have been stopped years ago. And the other thing that we don't talk about is a 1,240% increase of northern border encounters since 2021. I mean, it is huge what's happening on the northern border. It is huge what's happening on the southern border. No one wants to talk about this stuff. They shuffle the numbers to ensure that they're looking the best they can. Then they can't explain it. Then they fumble on national. The press secretary fumbles all the way through, and it's unfortunate. I think ultimately what needs to happen is there needs executive action. But you know what? Help's on the way, and it's ready. That I think America's ready for help is on the way.
What kind of help are you referring to?
Well, I think we have an election that's coming up. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are that people are looking at. And I think there's going to see we may have a major administration transition that I hope it'll change the way America has been handling this for the last 4 years, and then many other things. I think there's a lot of things that are happening and talking. You know, I'm here today in El Paso. The last couple of weeks, we've been celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Border Patrol. I've been with the Border Patrol the last 3 or 4 days here on the ground, in a parade. You can't tell you how many hundreds and thousands of people were lining the streets looking at the Border Patrol during the 100-year anniversary here in El Paso, congratulating them, American flags everywhere. I mean, this is a great thing. Let me tell you, these people are heroes on the border. They need help, and we need to do everything we can to help these people.
Right. And then the border bill that the GOP struck down and President Trump, they just want more money so they can process these people more quickly into this country. Chad Wolff, President Trump, he's promising on day one a mass deportation plan. This isn't something new. Under President Eisenhower, he did something very similar. He called it Operation Wetback. We're not going to use that term, obviously the derogatory term, but he wants to get America safe again because we don't know who these people are. Is it possible? Can President Trump achieve what he's saying he will do on day one of his presidency, if, of course, elected?
Well, absolutely. Look, deporting individuals, removing them, repatriating, whatever you want to call them, it's an integral part of our immigration system. And what we know is that the Biden administration has removed record low numbers of individuals at the same time that they've had record high apprehension numbers. And so, absolutely, we need to get back to enforcing the law. And that includes many different things, but it certainly includes deporting individuals that don't have a legal right to be here, whether it's the 1.5 million that are here on final orders of removal, the unlawful use of parole that the Biden administration has done, and the list goes on. So absolutely, you need to start identifying individuals and removing them.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll just have to wait and see. But I do believe that Democrats are waking up. They are waking up, and they're sick and tired of Joe Biden's feckless policies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, up next, some final thoughts. And, of course, we talked to some Gold Star parents. It's an emotional interview you don't want to miss. Keep it right here.